Hi, and welcome to Patty Roney and Living Life in Awe. Today we're talking about You Matter. In fact, this is the introduction to a course called You Matter. But what is interesting about this time is that the introduction is being done while we are in a pandemic globally. The coronavirus has hit many countries around the world, I believe all but one that I know of. And everyone is being put into lockdown, lock-in, and many of you are wondering, what should this time look like for you personally? And how should you think? How should you react? How should you spend your time? And how is this all going to turn out? Well, we don't know how it's all going to turn out for each individual, but I do know one thing. We're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for the lives of ourselves, our families, our friends, our globe. We're fighting for the chance to live a full life. And in that fight, I'm going to ask you to stop with me for a few minutes and understand the impact that you personally can make during this time. So we might be calling it 2 weeks at the beginning. We might say it's 8 weeks. It isn't the time that matters. It's how we manage, not only how we manage our time, but how we manage our thoughts, our actions, our words, and how, when this is over, when you look back on this time, what will you say about what you impacted, how you impacted the world, or what you feel you accomplished? Let me start with you actually matter. You were created as an incredible being. You are skilled. You have amazing talent, amazing gifts. You have developed skills throughout your life. You are never too young and you are never too old to make an impact on the world. And I want to just define the world for you because every one of you are in a different situation. And your world is where you are. It's your world. It's your family. It's your friends. It's your sphere of influence. It's your reach. And today with the internet, today with the social media, some of you have a reach of thousands, tens of thousands, even possibly hundreds of thousands. And some of you are in your homes and you don't feel like you have much of a reach. Doesn't matter. Because right now, what we're each called to do is our personal best. We're called to be our best. We're called to create the best we can create for others that are around us or in our sphere of influence. If you are fully isolated in a little tiny apartment and have no family and you're in a long distance country somewhere listening to this, I know that I can get through even to you. You matter. You are unique, you are individual, and you matter. One thing that you do during this pandemic can make a difference to someone else. That can make a difference to hundreds of thousands of people. See, we do not understand the ripple effect. We don't have even a comprehension of one act of kindness, one act of gratitude, one act of meanness, one bad statement to someone. What is the ripple effect of that? And how does that impact not only you and your little world, but how does that eventually impact the greater global world? We're all on this planet at the same time for some reason. And you are where you live and your sphere of influence is on purpose. And we don't know the purpose. It's not actually even, I tell God, what's your business is your business, not mine. I'm not going to worry about what God's business is. I do think I need to worry about what my business is. What is my call right now during this time? What is your call right now during this time? And so let's look at 3 areas. One area is, how do we spend this time? And there's not a right way for each one of us or a wrong way, but I'm going to just give you thoughts. And if I give you thoughts, you can see in yourself, oh, that is me, and that's what I'm supposed to be. And there's also, how are we thinking? Are we thinking and reacting in fear and trepidation? And are we going down, downhill fast? No, stop. I'm going to lift you back up. We don't have time to do that. We're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for everybody's lives out there. And we do not want to spend that time in fear and discouragement and depression. We want to be victorious. Isn't this all about being victorious and winning this war? Yes. Now, the other is, how do we impact everyone else? And so what you do with your time, what you think and how you react, and how you act and speak towards others, those things are going to make a big impact. Let me just do a quick description for you. I want you to look down as if you can see your city. And I want you to think about how each different person or family are doing their lock-in. And as we take a bird's eye view of each of those homes, I want you to find yourself. And if yourself is not which home you actually want it to be like, I want you to put a plan together to change that. You've got time. You've got time. So one home would be the person who is crashed, literally, and very worthy of that crash. Think about it. There are some of you who have not taken a vacation in 20 years. There are some of you that are so well deserving of this time. Lock you in, give you a pillow, turn on the TV, give you some snacks, and say, you don't have to do anything for 2 weeks. This is like 20 years of downtime. And I cheer you on, because we aren't supposed to work 20 years without any time off. Now, I might not choose the sofa and a 2-week time period down. That might not be my choice, but it isn't about me. My choice is mine, and yours is yours. I'm just trying to make you think a little differently and maybe more strategically. Okay? So if you are that person who has been slaving away for 20 years and you're just at the bottom of your energy, you're at the bottom of your mindset, you have no time to do anything. Now, that same person in that bird's eye view may be down for a couple days, and then you may start to think about some of the other things I'm going to mention, hopefully the good ones, right? So you may want to change that and do things you never get to do ever. And you think, oh my gosh, I've had 2 days of crash time, and now I'm going to actually get up and I'm going to do some things that I've always wanted to do and couldn't because I didn't have the time or the energy. Now, let's look at the next house over. It's a family house, and they are playing and they are having a wonderful time. They are so excited about time together. They're so excited about mommy and daddy not having to go to work and kids not having to go to daycare or school. And it is a wonderful spring break. And they are having a great time. And the parents are creative. The parents are putting games and books and toys and fun. Maybe they're older kids, and so there's a lot of excitement going on. Maybe they've got a house, not an apartment, so they're able to do some things in the yard together. Maybe do some things they've always had on the to-do list and they just could never get done. You know, I have a rancher friend, and I saw that she said, hey, we're loving it. The kids are home. We're all out ranching. We're all doing the healthy things that we have always done, and we're doing the careful things as far as social distancing, but we're out ranching together. We're having a great time. So that might be that second bird's eye view. But there are others, right? And I'm here to help some of you that might not be in those first two categories. Then the next home over is hiding, like serious hideout time. Under the covers, in cold sweats over what could be. The fear has attacked, the depression, the anxiety, the discouragement, that person has been hit with a fear that has crippled them and has shut them down, and they're not sick with the virus, but they're going to create sickness just by letting fear grip them. If that's you, I'm here for you. I'm here to talk you out of this one, because I'm going to give you a biblical, I believe that fear is warned about something like 450 times in the Bible. And why is that? Because that is not from God, it's from the enemy. And so when we're starting to go into fear, it's like we're being handcuffed and drug into the sheets and cover up our head and do nothing of any value. And it affects the way you think. It affects the way your cells respond. I'm a wellness expert. My background is in nutrition, and the cellular structure, instead of opening up as happy cells, they close like this. They can't even receive good nutrients or good food. And it's because they're shrinking like this. Fear, stress. And that person can't think beyond the cover over their head because they're so shut down. Their body is physically getting sick because they're so shut down. If you're that bird's eye view, if that's your home, I'm going to ask you to listen to all the rest of this course and to come back out of there, because there are important things for you. One thing that you can do can change life after life after life, lives all over the world. And so I'm going to help you with that, but I want you to come out from under the covers, and I want you to shake this off a little bit, and I want you to start to think, if we're fighting for the lives of many people around the world, let me help with the fight. Let me do something that would be beneficial. And always remember, if you're that person, that something good that you're going to say or do during this time is going to make a huge change, because you matter again. Now, let's keep going. What about the next house over? Now, the next house over is when that, I might be hitting a sore spot here, but when you're in that fear or anxiety, sometimes we move over to abuse. And it could be substance, it could be alcohol, it could be behavior patterns. And it's all to hide. It's that blanket we're pulling over our head. We're hiding our fears in all of the different possibilities of abuse, and we're trying to escape. Now, I'm gonna suggest that there's more value that you could be giving if you want to, that we could work together here in this course, and that there would be things that you would be excited about, that something would hit you and you would say, that right there, Patty, that's it. Right there, I'm excited about that. Enough to have my full capacity, not hide. I'm going to work with full brain power. I'm going to do the things that I need to do to help the people. I'm going to do them, even from your home, from the computer, from the phones, whatever that takes, but we can do it together, okay? And then you move to the next house over, and that is the exercise fanatic. Now, that's one of me. I've got a few of these roles, and that's one. And they are able to get outdoors. So they've gone fishing, guys. To all the men who put the signs on the door of their stores it's a Saturday afternoon, and they close up business early, and it says gone fishing. That might be you. That house might be you, where gone fishing, gone hiking, gone biking, gone running, gone on a family trek, gone to the mountains, gone to the ocean. Now, does that mean hang out with clusters of people like spring break? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Get out in the fresh air, the sunshine, move your body, get that exercise, and do things you never can take the time to do except maybe on a Sunday. Some of you are able to do some of those wonderful, fun, outdoorsy things all the time, but probably not many of you. Most of you would love to, but you cannot work the time out because you are doing a day job like for 8 to 12 hours a day. And then you've got the normal everyday house and family and personal care, and you don't have time. It's dark when you go to work. It's dark when you get off, and you don't have any option. You go to the gym and that's it. So I'm suggesting that household woo. I really love what's going on there. I really love that. And if that inspires you, then you could maybe flip something that's over here and you could be inspired to do something in that category. And if you set up maybe 3 a days, that's how I actually like to run my in-home life. I work from home always. So I love to do 3 a days, which means I can get outside and I can play tennis if it wasn't, lockdown. I can ride bikes. I can go for big power walks or something new called rucking. I can go in the other room and jump on a mini tramp, and in a different time, I can go to the gym and work out there. So right now I'm trying to take bike rides, power walks, and jump on the mini tramp. So that's my 3 a day. I love to rollerblade if I'm in a spot that I can be safe and rollerblade. That's perfect. And hiking is a huge big one for me. I will be doing some of that. I'm in snow country, so I have to be aware of the dangers and the risks when I go to do that right now. Now let's look at another house. And this one's also me. And so I'm speaking from experience in this one. That's the creative person. And I'm going to ask all of you to move to that house with me for just a few minutes, because I believe that each of you have a calling in this area. And that creative person sees this time as a time to not be wasted. They see this time as a time that they could look back at after this is all over with, and they can look back and say, oh my gosh, that was the time that I wrote that book. That was the time I created an entire new business. That's the time when I changed the way I was running my life. That was the time I got out of debt. While everybody is thinking in trouble, broke, all of that, that's the time I became an entrepreneur. That's the time I got out of debt. That's the time all the new creativity came to me. That was the magic time. And you think about that, and I'm going to tell you what, I've had so many life miracles. I have seen ridiculous, amazing God movement in my life over and over and over and over. I cannot tell you how many times. And it's because he's at work. Whether you know him or not, he is at work. And if you can move in with me for just a little while in this scenario and begin to put together a very, very quick list of all the things that are coming to your mind. Whether you just have quiet time so that you can think and listen, and what we call workshop is let the brain work. Or whether you're a prayer warrior and you are not just on your knees over coronavirus, which we all are, but if you're a person of faith, you also have the opportunity to ask, what is this time for? What could each one of us do to change the level of our impact, of our relevance, of our influence, of our value to society during this time? If you don't get anything else from me, the entire course, this is what I want you to get. Because I believe that you were created with so much, and we get so busy in, we grow up, we get married, we have our family. We're trying to take care of our job and our kids and our house. And suddenly we look and we have done none of the other things we had in our creative minds years ago. And maybe over time, you just kind of stuck those on a shelf in a shoebox. And I'm suggesting this is the time. You've been given a timeout. However that came about, whoever's responsible for that, this timeout is not for us to bury our heads under that blanket and allow enemy attack and defeat, to just defeat us so that we're not of any value. I mean, we go into fear and we could do nothing. We're frozen. I'm begging you to come out of that. I am praying over you as this is made that you can come back out of that. Don't let yourself go there. You just, if that fear comes in, you just say, whoa, no, I am not. Don't spend too much time on all the reports and the social media and the internet and all the news broadcasts. Know what's going on to a point. But from there on, no, you go make it happen. You go make something happen that could be in your history in a month from now, 2 months, and 5 and 10 years from now. You look back and say, oh my gosh, it was one of the worst scares, but I turned it into the most beautiful time. I changed the projection of my life. I changed where I was headed. I changed how I was living. I changed. I didn't even like my life. You know, how many of you are saying, actually, I haven't really rated my life at a 10 on a scale of 0 to 10. Maybe you've been just kind of going along. Maybe you've put your life at a 5. Not that you weren't grateful. You're grateful for your life, but you've never been thrilled about how it's going. And obviously you can tell that I am on a level 12, on a 0 to 10. I'm always thrilled. Life is amazing. Life is amazing. We're fighting for it because it is amazing, right? I want your personal value to come out. You matter. You were chosen to live here at this time. You were put here in the circle and sphere of influence that you have for right now. I also want to tap into, and we'll go further into details in the other parts of this course, but I want you to think about your thought process and reactions, because your thinking will impact your reactions, your words, your statements to people that come around, or on even your reaction on social media. And so I want us to think, there's a statement, as a man thinketh he is. And I want us to think about that. If we think negatively and badly about ourselves and about everyone around us and about all that is happening, then we come out as grouchy, negative, fearful, angry people. And we lash out. And we hurt people with words. We hurt people with just typing reactions on social media. We hurt people. And that's long term. You can say, sticks and stones could break my bones, but words could never hurt me. You were taught that as a child. Malarkey. That is not true. Words are dangerous. And we are taught in the Bible that our tongue is a dangerous weapon. And so we want to think about our words. We want to think about, where are they coming from? You might get off of your computer and go, oh my gosh, I was just straight out mean just now. And where did that come from? Probably fear. Probably starts with fear. And that's why it's such a dangerous emotion. So it's why we say no. We're all fearful. If I'm sounding like I have not had those moments of gasping of, oh my gosh, what are we going through right now? But you know what? It will not serve me. That will not serve me. And it is not healthy. And it won't serve you. And since health and wellness is one of my top 3 things in my life, I choose to be preventative. So part of prevention, if that's who you are, is to not allow the wrong emotions, the wrong thoughts to come into your mind. And if they come, get rid of them. Do not act on them. Do not make them a habit. So watch not only what's going on in your mind, but what you're doing with that. And if you're doing, if you're acting out, if the timeout kids are acting out, then let's rewind and let's start over on the way we think and the way we react. And I want you to think about being grateful. I want you to think about being forgiving. And as an exercise to finish out today and to help you to find maybe the best place for you to live during this time, I would like you to consider sitting down every day to start the day and write one email that is a beautiful letter of gratitude to someone. And I want you to also just write the words. You don't have to tell the person, that's up to you. But I want you to name someone that you need to forgive. I know, it's a struggle. If someone has hurt your feelings, they probably don't even know it. You know it, and you've kept it. If someone has been really straight out awful to you, and they know it, it's in our power to forgive. And it is something critical to the way we go forward in our lives. It's critical to releasing. It's critical to having a soft heart. It's critical to being able to be free to love each other. And free just to do the really great thing that I talked about you doing. So I'm recommending two very important things. One, write a gratitude letter to someone in the form, it can be a text, it can be messenger, it can be an email, it can be a mailed letter, but I'm suggesting probably in the days of quarantining that it would be better to be on technology. And be gentle. When we write a letter of gratitude, we want to be very kind and loving. And you don't have to say, I'm really grateful for you, even though you were terrible to me. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Be straight out, full out grateful, okay? And if you can write more than one a day, then, put those in a file in your mailboxes or something. Make a blind copy to yourself and put those in a folder so that when days are really not so great, you can open that folder and go, you know what, I really am grateful. Another thing that I highly recommend is a gratitude journal. When we're talking about grateful, maybe you get up in the morning and you're paralyzed. You literally cannot move because you are waking up with that old fear. And so one way to get rid of it is to go write something in a gratitude journal. And you can have it by your bed. You can have it there when you go to bed at night to make that one of the last things you do. And you can have it there in the morning to make it one of the first things you do. And the whole point of that is that a grateful heart has a really hard time operating out of meanness or operating out of fear. When we're grateful, we open up. We're very open. And for those people of faith, thank you opens the padlock to God's heart. It's a key. It's a password to God's heart. The other thing that I want to just remind you that I've just talked about is forgiveness. I don't care who or what. You might be holding this against someone in another country that doesn't even know your name. We need to forgive. We need to write down the issue and say, I choose to forgive. Forgiveness is a choice. Feels like it's an emotion. It's a decision. The emotions will follow, and it might take time, but I want you to get it off your chest. I want you to get forgiveness. I want you to get all that bitterness and pent up anger. I want you to get rid of that because we're going through this together. We're all scared together, but we're not going to be gripped by fear. We're not going to let that shut us down. We're all questioning what is this going to turn out like? And I want us to all pray for victory. And even if you're not a prayer warrior, even if you don't know God, I want you to throw up one of those prayers that says, please help us. You know, he hears you no matter what. Please help us. And together, I want us to make some very, very big decisions about how we're going to be for the rest of our lives. So if you've come into this as a grouchy, angry, negative person, bound by fear and discouragement, I want us to live differently for the rest of your life. I want you to get rid of that. I want you to write out no more, and embrace gratitude, love, forgiveness. And I want you to know that you were created and made very important, very special. You actually have a very special calling you may not even know about. So I want you to realize, yes, you matter. Yes, if you are in a foreign country that I have never even heard of, you're in an apartment, you're locked in, and you don't have much family, you matter. No matter who you are out there, you matter. And you are loved. And I am so excited to work together. And I just want to tell you that I want to be in this together with you. And I want you and me to come out of this victorious, winners, healthy, and actually with new ideas, new creativity, forgiving creatures, and grateful people. Thank you. God bless to all of you. I'm praying for you.